Okay, so who am I? Firstly, my labels. I'm Janis. I'm a mother of 3. They're 23, 20 and 10. I'm a wife, and I'm also a self-esteem educator and a mentor. So they're my labels. That's who I perceive myself to be and how other people perceive me to be. Okay? But ultimately, I am just me. Take me, leave me, I'm just me. Okay, so why am I into self-esteem? Why am I a mentor and an educator? Purely the reason being is that I was a person that needed it. Okay, I was somebody who had the lowest of lowest of lowest of self-esteem. Okay, and that came from my upbringing. Alright, so what is self-esteem? I talk to clients all the time. I've been in the industry now, this is my 7th year. So I talk to obviously predominantly, as I said, women and children and teenage girls. I ask them, what is self-esteem? Do you know what I get back from them? That's it.
Nothing.
This. I get blankness. A lot of people know that they want it, but they don't know what the heck it is. They know, and then when I prompt them some more, I say, no, come on, what is self-esteem? Tell me, what is self-esteem? And they'll say things like, oh, it's feeling happy, it's feeling good about myself, it's doing good things. All those sorts of answers will come back to me. And there's a part of me that says, yes, you are correct, in a way. They are more like the side effects of great self-esteem. Basically, self-esteem is so easy to explain, I can actually do it in a symbol. It just talks about being okay. Self-esteem is purely just being okay with who you are, how you feel, who you associate with, what you do. It's also being okay with what you don't do. It's being okay with the mistakes that you make. It's being okay with taking the risks. And it's also being okay with having failed results. But then it's also okay, you're okay with yourself about then taking new steps to change those results. So it's purely just about feeling okay. That's all it is. So what is low self-esteem? Well, clearly it's just the opposite. It's not feeling okay about who you are. Yeah? Okay, so there's 2 types of self-esteem. Now there's a self-esteem called situational self-esteem, and there's also self-esteem called core self-esteem. Alright? Now situational self-esteem basically means that your self-esteem has been hit for sixes, knocked off its feet via a situation. That kind of self-esteem issues or problems can be solved and rebuilt very quickly. Now when we talk about situational self-esteem, it's basically just that something has happened in your life. So it could be the death of a loved one. More than likely when it comes to women, it can be a divorce or relationship problems. Okay? It can come from financial situations. Yeah? Okay, when we talk about core self-esteem, basically what we're saying is it comes from here. It comes from our core centre. It comes from inside of us. And it controls our core centre. It also controls our heart centre, and it controls our brain. Core self-esteem is a lot more damaging, and it's a lot harder to work with. However, it is always repairable. Self-esteem is always repairable. It's one of those things that there always is that light at the end of the tunnel, and you can always reach it. Okay, so how do we get to the point of having core self-esteem problems? Well, basically it just starts back from our formative years. And that's the years that we were forming. Not as in neutro-forming, but our first 0 to 7 years, when we've been giving the foundations to life. So it's a bit like when children are learning to read, they're giving the foundations of how to break words up, how to sound their words out. And if they miss that part of their reading, that formations of reading, they then are lost for the rest of it. Yeah? Okay, so it's a bit like that. It's our formative years where we learn. All right, so it's how we raise our children, or what we say to our children, or how we react around our children, or how we put belief systems into our children. All right, let's take an example here. Let's say we've got this beautiful this little tiny 4-year-old little girl, yeah? And she's outside, she's wearing a nice little dress, and she spots a pile of dirt. What's she going to do? She's going to go run and jump in it. Of course, she's 4. Yay, beauty. In she goes, and she gets in there and she builds little tunnels and little roads and, little mountains, and she's having a wow of a time. Mum comes out. Now, Mum could then turn around and say, oh, no, doing? Don't play in the dirt, don't play. Oh no, you're so dirty. Oh no, look at your dress, that's so dirty. You can't do that, you can't do that. Nobody likes dirty girls. Then she goes to school the next day. She goes to preschool. And she's there playing with the kids and she's rocking around. Then she's starting to have a little challenge with another one of the little kids. So she runs up to the teacher and she starts to tell the teacher about her problems, what's going on. And her teacher may turn around then and say, it's all right, just don't play with them. Just go away, just go play over there by yourself and then you won't have any problems with them. Yeah? Then that night she goes home and she goes round to Grandma's place and she's going for dinner at Grandma's place. And Grandma says to her, you make sure you eat all your food on your plate. If you don't eat all that food, you're not going to get your dessert. There's lots of starving children in Africa, you know. You've got to eat all that up. Okay. Then she goes home. The next day she falls over and her big brother comes along. She starts to cry and her big brother says, oh, go away, you sookie. You're a crybaby. Get over it. Let's go forward 10 years. That little girl's now 14. That girl who's now 14 is in the bathroom. She's taking a long time in there. She's doing her hair, she's doing her face, she's doing her nails, she's doing whatever she does in there. Mum comes along and goes, bang, 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 bang. Come on, get out of there. Stop fussing over yourself. There's not enough of you in there to fuss over. Then she goes round to Grandma's place again for dinner, and as she walks in, Grandma goes, God, you're getting podgy. No man will marry you being podgy. Then she goes to school. Now remember, she's 14, she's in high school. It's quite a challenging time at that age as it is with other kids. But she doesn't say anything, she doesn't do anything. She's the kind of kid that just sits in the corner. She doesn't interact with groups. She's very quiet, she's very withdrawn. So in that sense, no kids come towards her, no kids come near her, no kids play with her. And then when she gets home, her older brother's starting to bring all his mates around, and their girls. And there's all these big groups of kids at home, and they're having a great time. They're listening to music, they're playing on their iPods, they're doing whatever it is that they do. And she comes walking past, and straight away the brother goes, oh, don't go near you. She's a spinner. Let's go forward another 10 years. The girl is now a woman. She's 24 years of age. Let's not go into what people are going to say to her anymore. Let's see what she now projects out. So let's think about how she presents herself. So one couple of set of years she was taught to not be dirty and not get dirty and not be creative and not do anything. Another one was don't fuss over yourself, you're not good enough or there's not enough of you to fuss over. How do you think she's now projecting herself as a woman to life? She's not projecting herself as being very worthy, is she? No. She's not creative. She stopped that because to be creative is naughty. She's not fussing over herself or taking care of herself anymore because there's not enough of her there to do that. But in her mind, not enough just means not enough. Yeah? Okay, in regards to her body image, how do you think that's coming across now into life? She's lost. She's completely lost. She doesn't know whether she's got to eat lots of food because it'll save the starving kids in Africa if she gets fat. Or she becomes anorexic. She has problems with her body because she doesn't make the right food choices because Grandma told her that no one will marry a podgy woman. So you can see straight away just from how we're bringing up and the things that we may say to our kids, how it's affecting their self-esteem. So let's think also back to the school time. So now she's in a dead-end job because she never speaks up, she never steps forward, she never learns to say no, and she never asks for what she wants. Now let's think about her relationships from her brother. Her brother never taught her nurturing, caring, protecting, having fun. So how do you think her relationships are working? And we won't even go down the sex path, thank God. All right, so we're just going to leave that there for a minute, let you think about that one.